Welcome back to another episode of Projecting Grandeur. I'm your host, Ron Dichter. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for being part of this community of ours. We continue to try to put the message out there to help entrepreneurs, people who I believe are changing the world, making it a better place. And I've been an entrepreneur for 30 years, and any insight or brain power that I can help to further the careers of an entrepreneur, I am all about it. Today, I want to get into it and I want to talk about victories, and I want to break that down further to micro victories. And I think about this a lot in my own life, but people, they're really good about seeing a goal that maybe, in the distant future where they're thinking about something that they want to accomplish. Maybe it's a year, maybe it's 3 years, maybe it's 5 years out. And, they really start to think about, that journey of what it's going to be like when they get to that goal. But what they forget is that sometimes you need to have mini goals or mini victories that you have along the way as you're reaching that goal. And I think it's really important in the journey of an entrepreneur to celebrate some of these mini victories that you have and also be able to articulate what they are. Because to set a very distant goal that you may have this grand goal that might be 5 years out, well, maybe there are iterative goals that you can have that are maybe 3 months or 6 months intervals where you can set checkpoints for yourself of by this date, I want to have this accomplished. By this date, I want to have this accomplished. And I think if we can, number one, be able to illustrate those, mini goals along the way, and then celebrate those mini victories as we are striving towards our, larger, longer term goal, it will make it much easier for us to not only enjoy the process, but actually feel like we're winning in the process. Because there's not a lot of people out there that can set a goal that's long term, 3 to 5 years out and stay focused on it day in and day out. They need these iterative wins to be able to feel like they're having success in getting towards that goal. And so I really think that it's important to, number one, set those goals, set those, checkpoints so that you can have mini victories along the way. I think you also need to celebrate those mini victories along the way. And for some people, frankly, for myself, I like to break things down even smaller. I like to think about, okay, if I have a 5-year goal, that's my victory. What is my, 1, 3, and 5-year goal? Meaning at the end of 1 year, what should I be? At the end of 3 years, what should I be? And then I break it down further. Okay, at the end of, this quarter, where do I want to be? At the end of this quarter, where do I want to be? And I'm having these like iterative steps, along the way. And then I break it down even further and I say, okay, for me to achieve my quarterly goal, what does my month need to look like? And then from there, what do I need to do each week? And then you get down into the metrics of what it is you spend your time doing. What does my day need to look like? And I think, again, if people can celebrate these mini victories, these small milestones, or steps that they have along their journey, it's going to make it a lot easier to stay focused on that long-term goal. It's going to be a lot easier for you to feel like you're having success along the way so that it doesn't feel so overwhelming. And again, we beat ourselves up because we set this, long distant goal out there. And, until we've achieved that, we feel like we failed. Well, if you have a 5-year goal, do you really want to feel like a failure for the first 4 years and 364 days as you try to reach that goal? No, you need to have mini victories. And so again, really quick today, all I want to talk about is set the long-term goal, break that down into midterm goals, break that down into short-term goals, and break that down into near-term goals. And when you have those little steps, celebrate those victories along the way, be proud of your accomplishments. If you have to make pivots, meaning let's say, after your 5-year goal, you realized after a quarter that you're not on track, make changes, make adjustments. And if you look at things in a smaller step or smaller steps to get to that long-term goal, you can make those changes. Whereas if your 5-year goal is all you're looking at, you may not know if you're off course as you get to year 1, 2, 3, 4. By the time you get to year 5, you may be so far off your goal because you didn't have those little iterative steps where you could celebrate those victories, understand, quantify them, and be able to really strive to have them. So again, set your goal, have shorter term, have near term goals, create, checkpoints along the way, and celebrate those victories. You're working your butt off. You deserve it. Take a moment, celebrate. Maybe it's as simple as going out to dinner with a loved one. Maybe it's as simple as taking your team out to a lunch, but celebrate those mini victories. Be proud of the accomplishments you're having along the way and stay focused on that long-term goal. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Again, my name is Ron Dichter. This is Projecting Grandeur. We're making entrepreneurs, giving them the best chance to be successful. And this is just my little corner to help them do it. So thanks again. Please remember to like and comment, and most importantly, share. Have a good one, everyone.